Okay, now we're doing the reverse. We just did, if we start out with multiplication, we're going to use division to undo it. Now we're starting out with division, and so we must be using multiplication to get rid of it. And some students are going to say, well, I should multiply by the 11 just because 11 is the bigger number. We always go after the number that is attached to our variable, the number that's closest to our variable. Our job as mathematicians is to solve for x. We're trying to isolate x. We're trying to get x all by itself. I see the 5 is going into the x. So I need to undo that division that is taking place. And how do we get rid of division? Like I said, is multiplication. We are multiplying to undo division because they are inverse operations. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other.
And if I want to think of it as a fraction because it's hard for my brain to multiply a whole number by a fraction, I'm going to shimmy in a divide by 1 over here instead. And so I might increase my parentheses to make it look like this. I could cross multiply. The 5 and the 5 would cancel out, but let's say I didn't even know about what cross multiplication was. How we multiply fractions is numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. So when I go 5 times x, we get 5x. And when I go 1 times 5, I get 5. 11 times 11 times 5 is 55.
Well, now I see that a 5 can cancel out with a 5. Anything that's being divided by itself is going to go back to 1. So we cross that out, and we're left with 1x is equal to 55. And again, I can check my work. I can say 55 divided by 5, and that's going to leave me with 11, because 5 goes into 5 once, and 5 goes into 5 once, and I'm left with 11. Same idea. Don't be lazy. Do the work. Show your work so you can get full points on this.
One day,
you might be left with something like this. Like maybe we're doing circles and stuff. And then you have 2.78. Alright? What would I do here? I'm going to freak out because I've never seen this before. No. If my job is to isolate x, then I have to get rid of that pi. So I'm going to go
multiply by pi on both sides, 2.78. Now I have to multiply by pi on this side. My pi's cancel out. X is equal to 2.78 times pi. And you could substitute that with 3.14, or most calculators have a pi button and you can figure it out that way. So don't rely, like I said, on guessing and checking. We want to have a nice systematic way to find our answers. Bye.